Good morning or good evening YouTube, I'm back here with another video, and today it is a very special video. It's about Sheena. She just came out yesterday, and I've had the opportunity to try and test her out here and show everybody the gameplay about Sheena here. Obviously you can see that she's already exclusive 3, so we have to bear that in mind. And we're also going to look at her stats so that you can see how they compare to your own stats that you might have on your account. Now the account that we are on at the moment is B-Flat or Barry's account here. And I'm very appreciative of having this opportunity here. So thank you a lot, and a shout out to Barry for letting us test Sheena here. It will probably save a lot of people their miracle shots if she is bad, and it might like enlighten them if they are not. Okay, so first of all we need to look at the stats here to understand how this hero is built. Now before even looking into it, I know that I would build my Sheena with healing effect, I would build her with speed and some effect hit and also some HP. So let's see how Barry has built his Sheena here. Now first of all, very high speed, I like that, it's very nice to see. And also good effect hit here, definitely for sure. And then healing effect, 120% healing effect. Now Sheena actually only needs 100% healing effect, so Barry here, he can optimize his gear and stats if he removes around 20% healing effect. Okay, then he can get more effect hit or speed maybe, or even HP or something like that, and it will be fine. So now that we know the stats here, and you can see here she's exclusive 3, so she can still get 100%, not 100%, but 100 more speed from her exclusive 5. Let's take a look at the echo here, just to see what that looks like. And we can see here he has the 4-star echo, so we have to also consider that when we look at how strong she is in the game. She's getting the healing effect here from this one here, and we can see already here he can actually level it up 10 more levels to get 10% more healing, which would give him 130% healing. So he would have the opportunity to remove 30% healing and still be capped at the 100% that she needs. Okay, so and this echo here, by the way, it is a fantastic echo. Just talking about that echo for a minute here. Fantastic echo. If you get Sheena, you also want to have this echo here at 5-star if you can. It's insane. You can see it here. It's going to give up to 60% skill damage to the 2 highest attack based heroes on the team when she does her S2 with 100% healing, right? So that is just fantastic. Like 60% skill damage for, well, she's a poison hero, right? So it would be Giselle maybe, and it would also be maybe Kadrian or anyone else in the future. That is just fantastic and crazy, to be honest here. This echo here. Okay, good echo. Let's take a look at the aura here. She's using a hit Grandmaster aura. I would probably change this one, to be honest, to something else. I think for her, one of the best ones you can get would be something like, well, she can actually, let me just see if she can do poison damage, or she's doing attack damage actually. So if you don't have Kalana, you can put a Combat Vanguard on this one here. And you can also put, I think maybe a Skill Master would be very good on her if you don't have it in your poison team. And Skill Master could definitely be a better choice, I think, than this one here, because she's not going to do any damage. And yes, her shielding will scale with HP, but I think still overall it's better to just make her a support hero. So I would put a Skill Master on her. I think that would be very nice on her. And if you don't have that, if you are only interested in being fast, you can also put an Arena Dominator on her. That would be very good. Now for the epic ones, I actually think a Recovery Horn could be very, very fun on her. And I would definitely, to be honest, I would probably recommend this one here on Sheena. But we will see how much healing she's doing. But she already gets the 100% healing from the stats that we're giving her. And I think her S3 or exclusive 3, sorry, will be healing a lot. So having this Recovery Horn on top of that when she's casting active skills will just mean that everyone will be topped up all the time. So if you don't one-shot the heroes, I think she might heal enough that she will actually be able to like fully heal the squishy DPS or stuff like that, right? So those auras I would probably go with. Actually, Recovery Horn I think is very good on her, but we will see. And for the blessings here, okay, yeah, we can see he's using healing effect here. That is a very good choice if you have a hard time hitting the cap. Now for Barry here, I would say if he if he gets the Echo to level 30, then he can remove both of these healing ones here and put like double the speed into it instead with the 100 extra speed or something in total, right? So there are possibilities here to make it even stronger. For the emblems here, this is a very standard emblem setup, and I would go with the same one. I think maybe taking this here, if you don't need the healing effect here, you can go with this turn meter reduction for PvP only. Okay, so let's test her out in some gameplay. Okay, and the first place we're gonna test her in PvE will be the Wuthering Coast. And I'm gonna use, like I saw which poison hero Barry has, and he have all of these here. For both Liuli and Wuthering Coast, Sheena will be replacing Penny. Yes, Penny, the pink-haired lady down here, right? All she did was effect rest down and also speed buff. Now, Sheena can also do the speed buff and mastery buff and do some other things like shielding and stuff like that. So Penny is definitely out of the meta for me, and I don't see any place to use Penny anymore, to be honest. I think she is pretty much dead for me. But let's go into this here and let's just put the presets and then see how it looks. Okay, and first thing I will say here is that Willa actually has more attack than Kadrian. So that is probably something that needs to be fixed on this account here. I will definitely go and have Kadrian either the one with most attack or second most attack after Giselle. I would not have Willa being the one with the most attack, because you don't want your Echo buff to go to Willa because she's not really doing damage, right? You want to have the Echo buff go to Kadrian, the skill damage buff, and also Giselle. That is the two you want to hit. Okay, so let's jump into the gameplay here. I haven't even seen how her animations look like. And right away here we can see, if we just remove the auto thing here, that she starts out casting her S2, which is very nice, giving the mastery buff to everyone. And also the Echo buff. Actually, I can see here the Echo buff looks like this yellow icon here. So very nice that they made a new icon for this here and made it yellow. It's very easy to see which heroes have the Echo buff on, the skill damage buff here. We can clearly see it here. Yes, here it is. Increases skill damage by a certain amount for 4 turns. It's a long duration on this Echo buff, yeah, from her Echo, right? And you can see it here clearly that these two guys are getting it. And you want to have it on Kadrian instead of Willa. You want to have Giselle and Kadrian get that buff because you want up to 60% skill damage on Kadrian, right? Because he is doing almost the same single target damage as Giselle. But this is not a Kadrian review. Obviously, it's a Sheena review. But I'm just saying here in the video, for anyone watching this, you want to have Kadrian and Giselle having your 2 highest attack on this setup here if you're using a Sheena Echo. Okay. So let's see here now in this Sheena's turn, we can see which ability she might prefer to use. Let's just put it on auto here and see. So, and this is just for default. I haven't put any presets or anything. So let's see which ability she used. Okay, so by default, she is casting the S4 as her first ability. That also means that she doesn't start out with the speed buff, right? Let's just put it here on auto and see what happens here when she casts the S2. Do we get the speed buff? Yes, so now we have the speed buff, and I'm pretty sure if we started out with S2, we would also start out with the speed buff. So you might want to preset that or something like that to get the speed buff quick and just get that out, at least for PvE. You want to have the speed buff being the first one. I think for PvP it's fine that she starts with the S4 because you want to cleanse CC with that and also do a shielding and stuff like that, right? The S4 is her ability where she cleanses. You can see it here, cleanses all control debuffs and grants them a huge shield and turn meter boost. That is very important in PvP. So for PvP you want to start with the S4, and I think for PvE you want to start with the S2 to get this speed buff here, because it's proccing the second time she casts this ability here, right? And the first cast of the ability happens automatically by her passive. So you wanna definitely just start with S2, I think, in PvE, sorry, just to get the speed buff quick, and then S4 in PvP. Okay, so let's just see here. Her animations is very nice. She's granting a lot of shields here. I can see that, and she's also doing a lot of healing here. Willa also doing some healing, obviously. Let's see how many layers of stuff that people have on now. The healing buff and stuff like that. So you can see it here. Yeah, you can see this one here with the infinite duration even. Sheena restores a certain amount of HP for the owner. So this one has no, like, it doesn't drop. It's an infinite duration on this healing buff. I don't know if that's a bug or intended, I can't remember exactly. I think it was just for a few turns, right? But maybe not. But it has an infinite duration, so you will have the healing buff up all the time. It's never disappearing, which might also means that she's doing a lot of healing, right? But you can clearly see here that she is doing some great shielding effects here. She did another shield there. And she has a high uptime, I think, on her buffs also. She's going to cast the S2 right now. Let's see it. There it comes. The S2, which gives mastery up. It gives resolute buff, I think. And it gives speed buff, which is fantastic on this hero here. So, yeah, it looks very nice. Let's go look at the result. Okay, so here is the result here on the Wuthering Coast. And as we can see here, Kadrian, even though he didn't even get the skill damage buff, he's actually doing so much damage here compared to the Giselle. So for sure, you wanna make sure that Kadrian is the one getting the skill damage buff from the Echo. He will just be skyrocketing his own DPS, okay? But healing wise here, it looks kind of weird. It's like Giselle maybe got all the healing or something like that. We can see here Sheena is doing 120 million damage, healing, sorry. She's also taking a lot of damage, actually. She's taking almost all the damage for some reason. That could be a display bug or something like that, right? But with this team here and the free-to-play Poison Pit, we can do 14 billion damage. Now, obviously, we're using Giselle here, but if you don't have her and you're free-to-play or whatever, you can still see that these 4 other heroes here, they are not limited heroes. You can almost get to the 16 billion threshold here that you want to get to as a free-to-play, right? Because you want to have the rewards. And you can see we can almost reach it just by this team here. Now, just for fun here, I'm removing Giselle and put in NITA instead here. And you can see NITA not really doing any damage. But we are actually getting half of the amount damage that is needed. You can clearly see it here, so almost 8 billion damage here by just this poison team here, and all of these heroes are free to play friendly. You just need to get them, but you can get them, right? It's no limited heroes or anything. Anita you can get from Mythic Box, so the pet even, and this one here will help you reach that 16 billion damage that you want to have in Wuthering Coast for the best rewards every week. You can use this team here. Look at Kadrian, how insane he is, alright? But let's continue with this Sheena review here, and here we can see Sheena doing a lot of healing. Let's test her out in more content. So unfortunately it is not Liuli poison today. We still have 2 more days, I think, or something like that. So we can't test her out in Liuli, but if you're looking at these teams here, I'm predicting that Pani here will be out. And we will have the Sheena in, also just because of Sheena's Echo alone, like 60% skill damage for both Giselle and Kadrian from the Echo will also boost the damage of these teams here a lot. Plus the 50% mastery and all of that, the speed buff, and you know what. So Pani definitely out, Sheena definitely in. Okay, so we're just doing a quick test here in the Faction Abyss. Let's see if we can manage to clear Faction Abyss 30 with these heroes here. And the Scorpion pet here, there are no limited heroes, no pay to win pets, and nothing here that you can't get free to play. So let's just waste one of his flags here and see how it goes. Okay, so you can clearly see here that she starts out with a good mastery buff here, and we have Macking here doing his thing. So let's see if this should be enough to clear the Faction Abyss 30 here. We'll also see how much damage and sustain you can do on the boss to maybe help you guys do stage 30 here. Obviously the stats on these heroes are better than what you have in early game, but I'm not even sure that someone like Eto there has any stats on him. I'm actually not even sure if Macking has any stats. I just put them in, I didn't really look at the heroes. So this is just to see how she is doing on the boss here. Can she do some sustain? You can clearly see here that she's healing a lot. Let's just put it on 1 speed here to understand what is happening. Here you can see that she is doing the buff here. She's doing some counter attacking also from her passive. And you can see all of that healing going out there. Look, 220,000 healing. Every time the allies takes a turn, I think, then they proc that healing effect that she put on them. You can see it here that what's it called, Macking also has this infinite duration Sheena HP one here, right? It says here for 3 turns, so it is for 3 turns, but it has a infinite duration, so yeah, infinite duration, I guess, and turn, right? So, but we can clearly see here that she's healing with 211,000 all the time. The boss is not doing enough damage to go through her big shield either. So she's very nice at protecting the heroes here on the last boss here. You can definitely use her as your like a shield and healer on this faction Abyss 30 here. I think it's not a problem actually to use that, right? If you're struggling to clearing this one here on 3 stars here, you can see you can do it with Sheena. It's not a problem, right? So a lot of healing. And then imagine she had the recovery horn aura. As I said in the beginning of the video, she would be healing another 9% every time she took a turn, right? You can clearly see her healing here is crazy. Very nice, high shield and everything very nice. Okay, we are back here from Purgatory here. It is stage 40. I saw that Barry was on stage 37. So let's see if we can do stage 40 with this team here that I've just done with Sheena in it. And let's just see if we can manage to clear this stage 40 here since he's stuck on 37. Now this boss here hits very hard, so it's very hard to get through this boss here, but we will see. And also he doesn't have the unicorn pet or the griffin pet, and his frost spectre pet is kind of low as well, so hopefully the pet can do it, but I guess there's a reason he is stuck here as 37. But let's just see here what happens here. Now we managed to put, we want to put the severe wound debuff onto the boss here. Let's just, can we do it there? I think if I was a bit faster on my Immercado there, we would have done it. Yeah, see, he healed back up there. I was too slow. So what we're going to do now is actually set the like, I'm just going to go back here and then do some presets on Immercado so he always does the severe wound. Okay, I'm back here. Let's just try one more here. He also had an Arcane Gem on Immercado, which meant that he had 3 or 4 abilities before he did his basic attack that he was juggling between. So let's see what happens now that I've prioritized the poison up buff, and then his basic attack is the only thing he will be casting here on the Immercado. Don't want to have the boss doing too much healing. We need the severe wound buff on her, right? Let's see here what happens. What we want to pay attention to is obviously Sheena doing some big shielding here and also doing a lot of healing. And the healing actually helps a lot when we are using Nikki, because Nikki's issue is that yes, she can do that buff where she has 64% and 33%, you know, the buff, right? But she kind of needs a bit of healing just to get over that threshold so that you are not taking too much damage here. So let's see here if we can manage to help Barry clear stage 40 on the poison Purgatory here. As I said, he was 37 before this. So far so good, but all of a sudden we can just die from this boss here, right? But let's see what happens. Yeah, we're taking a lot of damage, but Nikki buff is helping us. And also here you can see all the healing. Did you see all the healing there? I think it was from the Sheena buff also. We can see Immercado getting a bit low here, but let's just see what happens. Now for this one here, we can also see Sheena's echo is going onto Immercado and onto Giselle, so that is very fine there. But then the boss actually healed up. I think Immercado might have missed a basic attack or something like that. So the boss managed to heal up. So maybe in this one we won't do it, but I can pause the video and just do a few more attempts here until we get it done, right? Because I think it is doable. It looks doable, to be honest, but now the boss has maybe too many stacks. Yes, so now we died because we missed that opportunity, but I think the boss might have died. So just give me a moment, guys. Okay, so I'm back here again. Now I went back and I actually re-geared Immercado just a tiny bit. So now he's got like, well, 80% more affected. And also, he also has more speed here. Since we are using Cadrian instead of Immercado, now I just wanted him to be fast and with more affected to land the debuff on the boss, because I noticed that it kept getting resisted. So, and we don't want to have that, right? We want to have the buff land all the time. We need to make sure on this boss here that the healing debuff lands here. So as you can see here, I'm going to turn it off here. and just do the single target attack here, and now we are landing the debuff here. We just want to land the debuff until she is no more. Obviously, as soon as the debuff lands, then I'm gonna pause it or manually play it just to apply that basic attack on her, because I think that is the most important to get. Let's see here, she still has the debuff. Yes, so one more turn, we can do it one more turn, it's not a problem. Let's do, and now we can see that Imokado is actually fast enough to, I think, maybe double turn her with the speed buff. Here we get the poison buff. And let's see, we can get her even further down here. The ants are about to die. Let's see what happens here. And we're gonna pause it here. And okay, so we did apply this one here. So now we wanna apply the basic attack. And you can see she actually resisted it there. So I might even have to give her even more. She has 168 resistance here. So hopefully we are fast enough to go and get our turn here before the boss. So let's just see if we're gonna get another turn with the Mikado here. I'm gonna do the, yes, this time we applied it. So let's see if we can manage to kill her this time here. Now we have the severe wound buff for 2 turns. So let's see if we can manage to do it here. And you have to remember that this is also a Sheena review. And Sheena is helping us stay alive here with her healing and her shielding and everything here. So that is what we have to take from this video so far, right? Right now it's just become a test of what can we actually expect from this hero here. Let's see if we can apply this, if we can. Let's see if we can kill the boss and then go into a PvP setting afterwards, because the video is getting long, but it's also a new hero and interesting hero. Very close. Okay, so I'm gonna finish that off after the video here. You don't have to watch that, but as you saw, it's very close to getting stage 40 done because of Sheena. Okay, so we're back here with some PvP action this time. This is classic arena. I found an opponent here that looks like he is strong. What I'm expecting will happen here is that Felicia won't be able to do that many pursue and attack, maybe, or maybe I forgot something about Sheena. We will just see here, because I think maybe Sheena will only stop pursue and attack if she is in a full pursue and attack on a control team, right? So I think we'll have to test it in 3 versus 3 as well. She might not fit into the standard classic team here, but let's just see what happens here. We want to see her shielding, we want to see her healing here if it's strong enough. And remember, we don't use a unicorn, we don't use a griffin pet because we don't have them on this account. We have the deer pet though, so that is the next best option, I think, to try and stay alive, right? But you can clearly see here that she's doing a lot of healing, she's doing a lot of shielding, and basically we just want to keeping to stay alive, right, until we get our turn and we can do enough damage to kill the enemies. And you can see that the enemies are now slowly dying actually, while we didn't really take any damage, to be honest. It looks very stable here so far with this team, and you can see that Sheena definitely helps us with the shielding and the healing here, even against this guy here. So let's see the battle report here. Let's see the stats. Yes, you can see she did a lot of healing here. 26 million. That is a lot of healing. You can see the enemy that didn't really do any healing, right? So let's test it again, one more team here. And obviously I'm not saying that she just completely fits into the meta team here in Classic Arena, but she is definitely very nice, right? And you can see she's casting the mastery buff from the start. We don't have any heroes on this team here though that will gain any benefit of mastery, so that's not really needed in this team here, but it's just to show you that she is doing that from the beginning. And also, of course, it's going to be one more buff that has to be stripped from counterattack from Apsara before we can remove maybe some of the other good things, right? Also, a thing I want to see here is that the silence effect here, is it being applied to attackers? Let's keep an eye here. You can see that Lydia is actually silenced, so that is one of those things in PvP that we want to test out for sure. I want to see also, I'm kind of interested to see if Apsara's counter attack will proc the silence effect. And here again you can see this team here, it was no match for us. We completely destroyed him, even he had a Marie and an Erato. I want to see against Pluto here. Let's see against Pluto. Let's see what happens here. I'm gonna start it on manual. And Pluto is a guild mate here, so it's going to be a guild battle here. Now, I just want to see if we... the Apsara here, did she get... Oh, she's immune to CC, obviously. So, okay, she cannot get silence because she's immune to CC. Apsara, that is when she's in resonance status, right? So, that is unfortunate. But let's just keep an eye on the other heroes here on the enemy side. Do they get silence when they do any counter attack? Maybe when Hanya does her S4 and procs the pursue an attack, will that maybe silence the heroes? Let's see. Let's keep an eye on the silence thing, right? So did Hanya get silenced here? Let's see. No silence so far. Maybe that didn't hit Sheena directly. Let's just keep an eye. I think on the other side here, only one that can get CC'd is actually Hanya, right? So, but it looks like we are defeating this Pluto team also, and he had a unicorn pet and he had a very strong like lineup here, and you can again see Sheena is doing a lot of healing actually. So far very nice. Very impressed with Sheena here. Obviously this guy here, he will completely destroy me, right? But let's try against him anyways, just to see what happens. Okay, just to see what happens. Now he is one of the best players in the game here, so we're going to be defeated by him, but I just want to see what happens. I want to see on the enemy side if they get debuffed, if I just get one shot or whatever. He also has a Griffin pet, so it's kind of hard, but let's see what happens here. So far, and there comes the Griffin pet. We actually tanked the damage from the Griffin pet pretty nicely there, I think. Normally, a Griffin pet can do a lot of damage here, but let's see what happens. Let's see. Is anyone getting silenced on the enemy side? It doesn't look like it, right? Because they're all CC immune anyway. So, but we'll test it in the 3 versus 3 team if she might be doing something great there, right? Because she needs the full control team to be working, right? But as expected here, we cannot do much against the Kragans like that. Okay, let's try some 3 versus 3. Okay, so we're back here with some 3 versus 3 against Pluto here. Also very strong player here. Let's just see. The first team here doesn't really matter too much, so let's just pause the video until we get to number 2. Okay, so we're about to get to like fight number 2 here, and we're gonna remove the auto thing. I want to see what happens here. Okay, so if you just recap it here, I started out with my buff S2 on Sheena, then the Lydia actually went first, put the S4, I'm assuming, on our heroes here, yes, and now it's our turn here. So we can see that the enemies, they have like so far nothing too scary, right? But what I want to see is like, can they still pursue an attack? Because now we are using a full CC team, and her S3 here, or exclusive 3, sorry, it says here that for every ally with control effect, we are taking less damage when we have that shield, but also when 5 allies with the control tag are deployed, all allies will not be pursued and attacked by basic attack. Okay, so I think that is very interesting, because on paper it should mean that Reyna and Tyrell cannot pursue and attack us, which is obviously huge. So let's just see here if that is the case. It looks like the case at the moment, I think. Let's just see. Let's just see here. Okay. Don't think Reyna and Tyrell are doing a lot here. Now we can see that, just put it on auto here, right? We can see that we are kind of, we don't have Lydia on this team, right? Because I removed Lydia, I put Sheena in instead, which I think will be the play for me when if I get Sheena, right? That's how I'm gonna do it. And we'll also see here that we are actually winning the fight here. You can see the enemies, they're just dropping dead, right? And they had a Lydia, we don't even have it, so it's not really a problem, to be honest. Not too much anyways. We're gonna see the healing and stuff that she did afterwards, but you can see here that Reyna and Tyrell, they just stood still, they didn't do anything. So for me, I think Sheena is definitely a major changer in the control team, because she will be, if she is used in a control team, she will make sure that Reyna and Tyrell cannot do their basic attack. So basically, she nullifies all the damage that Reyna and Tyrell could have done, right? So let's just skip this one here and get to the battle report to see how it works. Okay, so we're back here. Let's look at the report here. And on the right side, you see the current meta team. Well, without the Cadrian and obviously no Griffin pet, but still very nice team. And on the left, you can see the new variant that I think will be one of the good ones. Obviously, I would use a Griffin pet if I had it on this account. I don't, so I'm using the free-to-play pet to showcase this team here. I think this is a very nice team here, but with that said, I also think that Tyrell and Reyna is about to get shifted out of the CC team or go to a second CC team or something like that, because Sheena will actually make them not really do too much damage, so they're mostly there for the utility. Reyna obviously very strong with her shielding and stuff like that, so she might be able to stay, but I think Tyrell, she does the speed debuff and the effect hit down debuff, but she might be going out. Could replace her with someone else, maybe even a Lydia or something like that, right? So I think overall very impressed with Sheena. I think she's a nice hero. Yes, she is not a carry hero as such, but I think she definitely can be helpful for both PvE and PvP. And this is only the tip of the iceberg, right? We will get more heroes in the future where she might slot into. She has very nice tags. She has the control tag and the poison tag and the counter attack. So she is going to be very nice, especially for Liuli 7 as well, when that opens up later in the week. Now, it's been a very long video, guys. If you're still here watching this here, thank you a lot for watching everything here. And thank you for being such a good subscriber here. Don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment down below if you have Sheena. What do you think about her? Otherwise, have a nice day. Cheers. Bye.